Saturday, northwest winds 10 to 20 knots. Seas 4 to 7 feet. Saturday night, north to northwest winds 10 to 20 knots, becoming north 5 to 15 knots. Seas 3 to 5 feet. Sunday, north winds 5 to 10 knots. Seas 3 to 5. To southwest winds 5 to 15 knots. Seas 3 to 4 feet. Monday night, south to southwest winds 5 to 15 knots. Seas 3 to 5 feet. Here is the latest offshore marine forecast for Georgia's Bank between Cape Cod and 68W north of 1,000 fathoms. Storm warning, tonight, south winds 35 to 50 knots. Seas 12 to 21 feet. Rain likely. Thursday, west winds 25 to 35 knots. Seas 10 to 17 feet. Scattered showers. Thursday night, west winds 20 to 30 knots. Seas 8 to 13 feet. Friday, west to northwest winds 15 to 20 knots. Seas 5 to 9 feet. Friday night, north to northwest winds 10 to 20 knots. Seas 4 to 7 feet. Saturday, north to northwest winds 10 to 15 knots. Seas 3 to 6 feet. Saturday night, north winds 5 to 15 knots. Seas 3 to 5 feet. Sunday, north to northeast winds 5 to 15 knots. Seas 4 to 5 feet. Sunday night, northeast winds 5 to 15 knots, becoming east. Seas 3 to 5 feet. Monday, east winds less than 10 knots, becoming east to southeast. Seas 3 to 5 feet. Monday night, east to southeast winds 5 to 15 knots. Seas 3 to 5 feet. Here is the latest offshore marine forecast for south of New England between the Great South Channel and Montauk Point to 1,000 fathoms. Storm warning, tonight, south winds 35 to 50 knots, becoming south to southwest 30 to 40 knots. Seas 14 to 22 feet. Rain likely. Thursday, west winds 25 to 35 knots. Seas 10 to 17 feet. Scattered showers. Thursday night, west winds 20 to 30 knots. Seas 8 to 13 feet. Friday, west winds 15 to 20 knots, becoming northwest. Seas 4 to 8 feet. Friday night, north to northwest winds 10 to 20 knots, becoming north 10 to 15 knots. Seas 3 to 6 feet. Saturday, north winds 5 to 15 knots. Seas 3 to 5 feet. Saturday night, north to northeast winds 5 to 15 knots. Seas 3 to 5 feet. Sunday, northeast winds 10 to 15 knots. Seas 3 to 5 feet. Sunday night, east to southeast winds 10 to 15 knots. Seas 3 to 5 feet. Monday, east winds 10 to 15 knots. Seas 4 to 6 feet. Monday night, east winds 10 to 15 knots, becoming 10 to 20 knots. Seas 4 to 6 feet. Attention! Mandatory speed restrictions of 10 knots for vessels 65 feet or longer are in effect in specific areas from Massachusetts to Florida to protect North Atlantic right whales. Voluntary speed reduction zones may also be in effect where right whales have been detected. All mariners and recreational boaters are requested to route these areas or transit through them at 10 knots or less. Consult broadcast notice to mariners, NAVTEX, and local notice to mariners for more information. Please report sightings of dead, injured, or entangled whales to 866-755-6622 or to the U-South Coast Guard to Channel 16. Visit www.fisheries.gov and search right whale speed rule to learn more and sign up for notifications about right whale slow zones. The following is a summary of watches, warnings, and advisories in effect. A storm warning remains in effect until 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Thursday for the following marine locations: coastal waters extending out to 25 nautical miles south of Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket, and coastal waters from Montauk, New York to Martha's Vineyard extending out to 20 nautical miles south of Block Island. A storm warning remains in effect until 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Thursday for the following marine locations: Vineyard Sound and Buzzards Bay. A storm warning remains in effect until 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Thursday for the following marine locations: Cape Cod Bay, Nantucket Sound, and Massachusetts Bay and Ipswich Bay. A storm warning remains in effect until 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Thursday for the following marine locations: coastal waters east of Ipswich Bay and the Stellwagen Bank National Marine Sanctuary, and coastal waters from Provincetown, Massachusetts to Chatham, Massachusetts to Nantucket, Massachusetts, out 20 nautical miles. Flood watch remains in effect through Thursday morning. Flooding caused by excessive rainfall continues to be possible. Areas affected include portions of northern Connecticut, including the following areas: Hartford, Connecticut, Tolland, Connecticut, and Windham, Connecticut, Massachusetts, including the following areas: eastern Franklin, Massachusetts, eastern Hampton, Massachusetts, eastern Hampshire, Massachusetts, eastern Plymouth, Massachusetts, northern Bristol, Massachusetts, northern Middlesex, Massachusetts, northern Worcester, Massachusetts, southern Bristol, Massachusetts, southern Plymouth, Massachusetts, southern Worcester, Massachusetts, western Franklin, Massachusetts, western Hampton, Massachusetts, western Hampshire, Massachusetts, and western Plymouth, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island, including the following areas: Bristol, Rhode Island, eastern Kent, Rhode Island, Newport, Rhode Island, northwest Providence, Rhode Island, southeast Providence, Rhode Island, Washington, Rhode Island, and western Kent, Rhode Island. When, through Thursday morning. Impacts include excessive runoff may result in flooding of rivers, creeks, streams, and other low-lying and flood-prone locations. Flooding may occur in poor drainage and urban areas. http://www.weather.gov/safety/flood. High wind warning remains in effect until 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Thursday. Southwest winds 20 to 30 miles per hour with gusts up to 55 miles per hour. Areas affected include portions of eastern, northeastern, and southeastern Massachusetts and northern and southern Rhode Island. When, until 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Thursday. Impacts include damaging winds will blow down trees and power lines. Widespread power outages are expected. Travel will be difficult, especially for high-profile vehicles. Now for the official National Weather Service forecast for southeast Massachusetts, Cape Cod, and the islands, including Fall River, New Bedford, Plymouth, and Taunton, issued at 7:10 p.m., Wednesday, December 11th. Tonight, rain with isolated thunderstorms until midnight, then rain after midnight. Rain may be heavy at times until midnight. Very windy with lows in the upper 30s. South winds 25 to 35 miles an hour with gusts up to 55 miles an hour, becoming west 20 to 25 miles an hour with gusts up to 45 miles an hour after midnight. Chance of rain near 100%. Thursday, sunny. Much cooler with highs in the lower 40s. West winds 15 to 20 miles an hour with gusts up to 35 miles an hour. Thursday night, mostly clear. Much cooler with lows in the lower 20s, except in the upper 20s across outer Cape Cod and Nantucket. West winds 10 to 15 miles an hour with gusts up to 30 miles an hour. Friday, sunny. Highs in the mid-30s. West winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Gusts up to 20 miles an hour in the morning. Friday night, mostly clear. Lows around 20, except in the upper 20s across outer Cape Cod and Nantucket. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Saturday, sunny. Highs in the mid-30s. North winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Saturday night, mostly clear until midnight, then becoming partly cloudy. Lows in the lower 20s. North winds around 5 miles an hour. Sunday, partly sunny in the morning, then becoming mostly cloudy. Highs in the lower 40s. East winds around 5 miles an hour, becoming southeast in the afternoon. Sunday night, cloudy. A chance of rain. Near steady temperature in the mid-30s. Southeast winds around 5 miles an hour. Chance of rain 40%. Monday and Monday night, mostly cloudy. A chance of rain. Highs in the upper 40s. Lows in the upper 30s. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour with gusts up to 20 miles an hour. Chance of rain 50%. Tuesday and Tuesday night, mostly cloudy. A chance of rain. Highs in the mid-50s. Lows in the mid-30s. southwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of rain 50%. Wednesday, mostly sunny. A chance of rain in the morning. Highs in the upper 40s. West winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of rain 40%. Here is the official National Weather Service forecast for Cape Cod Bay, Nantucket Sound, Vineyard Sound, Buzzards Bay, and Rhode Island Sound, issued at 7:13 p.m., Wednesday, December 11th. Storm warning in effect until 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Thursday for Cape Cod Bay, Nantucket Sound, Vineyard Sound, and Buzzards Bay. Storm warning in effect until 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this evening for Rhode Island Sound. Tonight, south winds 30 to 40 knots with gusts up to 50 knots, becoming west 25 to 30 knots with gusts up to 40 knots after midnight. Seas 6 to 9 feet. Rain. Visibility 1 nautical mile or less. Thursday, west winds 20 to 25 knots with gusts up to 35 knots. Seas 5 to 7 feet. Thursday night, west winds 15 to 20 knots. Gusts up to 30 knots until midnight. Seas 4 to 6 feet. Friday, northwest winds 10 to 15 knots. Gusts up to 20 knots in the morning. Seas 2 to 4 feet. Friday night, northwest winds around 10 knots. Seas around 2 feet. Saturday, north winds 5 to 10 knots. Seas around 2 feet. Saturday night, northeast winds around 5 knots. Seas around 2 feet. Sunday, southeast winds 5 to 10 knots. Seas around 2 feet. Sunday night, southeast winds 5 to 10 knots. Seas 2 to 3 feet. A chance of rain after midnight. Monday, southeast winds 10 to 15 knots. Seas 2 to 4 feet. A chance of rain. Monday night, southeast winds 10 to 15 knots. Seas 2 to 4 feet. A chance of rain. Here is the official National Weather Service forecast for the outer coastal waters from Cape Ann to Nantucket to Montauk, New York, including the Selwyn Bank National Marine Sanctuary, issued at 7:13 p.m., Wednesday, December 11th. Storm warning in effect until 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Thursday. Tonight, south winds 30 to 40 knots, becoming southwest 25 to 35 knots after midnight. Gusts up to 50 knots. Seas 11 to 15 feet. Rain. Visibility 1 nautical mile or less. Thursday, west winds 25 to 30 knots, diminishing to 20 to 25 knots in the afternoon. Seas 8 to 11 feet. Thursday night, west winds 20 to 25 knots, diminishing to 15 to 20 knots after midnight. Gusts up to 30 knots. Seas 5 to 8 feet. Friday, west winds 15 to 20 knots, becoming northwest 10 to 15 knots in the afternoon. Seas 4 to 6 feet. Friday night, northwest winds 10 to 15 knots. Gusts up to 20 knots until midnight. Seas 2 to 4 feet. Saturday, north winds 5 to 10 knots. Seas 2 to 3 feet. Saturday night, northeast winds 5 to 10 knots. Seas 2 to 3 feet. Sunday, southeast winds 5 to 10 knots. Seas 2 to 3 feet. Sunday night, southeast winds 10 to 15 knots. Seas 3 to 4 feet. A chance of rain after midnight. Monday, southeast winds 10 to 15 knots with gusts up to 20 knots. Seas 3 to 5 feet. A chance of rain. Monday night, southeast winds 10 to 15 knots. Seas 4 to 5 feet. A chance of rain. The following is a summary of watches, warnings, and advisories in effect. A storm warning remains in effect until 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Thursday for the following marine locations: coastal waters extending out to 25 nautical miles south of Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket, and coastal waters from Montauk, New York to Martha's Vineyard extending out to 20 nautical miles south of Block Island. A storm warning remains in effect